We have not had a response like that since I walked out on the stage. It's just, it's amazing. Steinway and Sons artist. Tell us a little bit about that. We've got a couple of slides as we talk, and I'm going to prompt you, and we can talk about as we talk. We'll have some time. So Steinway and Sons artist. Can we see? So there you. How long you been working for them?
Since 1997, I was anointed a Steinway
artist. Can we
artist.
turn him up, please?
The Steinway company selects certain artists. You can't buy your way into it. You can't juice your way into it. They just, based on playing ability, based on notoriety, recording sales. And there's no pay either way. When we go out on the road, Steinway brings me a piano, and I love Steinway and Sons. I've been through the factory in Queens many times. If you ever go there,
amazing.
Yeah, then you really realize it's a totally handmade work of art.
Well, you're a work of art.
As are you.
Yeah, man.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy. This is your second attempt, and here we are. You were like me. You were stranded yesterday. We were talking. It's lucky that you're here.
I know. I feel we are really jointed at the hip now.
Yeah.
After being stranded in the airport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We go through war zones together.
Yes.
Let's talk about the first president. Let's talk about Mr. Jimmy Carter. Can we see a couple of pictures? Tell me a little bit about Jimmy Carter.
Well, I was at a book signing, and I lived in Orlando, Florida, way back in the 80s, and then I went up to a book signing. I wanted the book. My dad, I grew up in Oklahoma. My dad was a hunter and a fisherman, and so he wanted me to get that book, the Outdoor Journal, which Jimmy wrote. So I stood in line for about 3 hours at Borders Books, and I took him one of my 33 RPM records. And so he took the record and signed me a book, and I signed my phone number inside the record. And about 3 weeks later, Dan Ariel, his pastor at Maranatha Baptist Church in Plains, asked me to come play. And so that become like, every 6 weeks, then I'd go back and play for them again. And then after that, I became like their son, kind of. And so Jimmy, even though politics and music are not the same, he suggested me go play for the Reagans. And we're
going to move to George Bush.
You want to? Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about George. We'll come back to that. Let's see with George Bush.
All right.
So what year was this? It's right here.
By
the way, that was David, right here. You can look up here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Some people don't see what's on the back behind them, evidently. So.
This jumps a few years up. This is 2003, and this was. They had me once at the White House that week on Thursday night, and then he was so impressed with what I did. President Bush asked me to play Saturday night. The first Thursday night was for the staff at the White House, and then the Saturday night was for the crew that did Christmas in Washington, that CBS special. So like Kenny Chesney, Renee Fleming, Van Cliburn.
You're getting around. At this point, you're like, geez, this is incredible. And so it's become like a repetitive thing where now you're the guy, you're the go-to guy for the presidents. And next we have Hillary Clinton, who wasn't president, but you played there for the Clintons as well.
And that was in '99. That was when President Clinton was sick that night. So she did all the meet and greets, and she asked me if I would stand and meet people too with her. And I'm like, why would anybody want to meet me? Well,
they probably heard you playing, and they were like...
They did hear me play, yeah.
People tend to like you if you're good. You know what I'm saying? So, it's true.
As are you. I think you're fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
I'm so glad you sang today.
Well, I don't, but, we're one big happy family, most of us. And so... now, let's see, Barack Obama, you played for, when was this?
Oh, many times I played for him. The one on the left was at the Blair House when I played for President Carter's funeral. So we hung out with Barack at the Blair House. The right was one of the many performances I did. I did 30 performances for the Obamas and about 35 for the Bushes. Wow. That's at the inaugural, the first inaugural. I played his inaugural at Washington.
What an honor. I mean, what a life that you've lived. I mean, you must pinch yourself when you go, what a lucky guy I am to have such a great opportunity. But you're so talented. I mean,
I do feel lucky.
So you're a very blessed man. Let's talk about Celine Dion. So let's go.
Well, I played, I was, how many years? 12 years at Caesar's Palace. That's where I met in my view, the greatest bass player on the planet.
Denny DeMorales, yes, there he is.
DeMorales.
So Denny,
He's like my brother, and he's
Danny, you've been playing with him for how long, Danny?
we worked together. We've worked together for 30 years. He's traveled all over the country, and Danny knows exactly what I'm going to do every time. Even if I don't know what I'm going to play, he knows it.
Well, I wish he knew what the hell I was doing up here at the time. So,
Celine asked me in her dressing room the first day she met me to come back and meet her at Caesars, and she was one of our regular people in the showroom, and that was before she did Titanic, and a lot of people didn't even know who she was at that time. And then Renee he loved me, and we were very close friends. I played for a lot of their parties at their house. I have the highest love for those two people. Of course, he's gone now.
Isn't that great? Isn't that what you guys? I'll go. Celine Dion. Yeah, I know her. You know, like how incredible to meet all these people in your life.
She's an adorable person.
And you have a family as well. It's something you have.
I know her mother, Teresa, who's gone now, but she was quite a chef. If you ever made it out to Canada, she had her own cooking show. And then Denise is also a friend of mine, her sister.
Well, you've completed the circle of fame because now you're here at Sun City. I mean, where do you go from here? I mean, think about that, folks. Let's talk about Bill Clinton. You also you played for Bill as well.
Yeah, I did. I did. I forgot about that one though. Can we just lie about this one?
That's pretty damn good. I gotta admit, that was pretty good.
I have to tell you, I'm honored to be here today. Really, I am.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that.
But Bill is, you forget he's president when he's with you. In fact, I told him this is at Jimmy Carter's 75th wedding anniversary. I played for Jimmy Carter's 75th birthday and his 75th wedding anniversary, which was years apart. But I told President Clinton, I said, from the stage, and we had Nancy Pelosi, everybody, George W. Bush, Paula Dean, Ted Turner, everybody in the crowd. I said, I'm going to tell a little story about you from the stage. And he said, whisper that in my ear because, the media will tear me up on this.
I'm sure, yeah. Be careful what you say nowadays.
Yeah,
yes,
but I said,
absolutely.
because one of the girls said, don't say a lot to the president, just play the piano.
Yeah.
I said, he sat down on the bench with me, and I looked over, I felt the nudge, and he was sitting there. He said, let me see those licks up and down the keys again,
So here's the thing, too. Before you do your next song,
Okay.
You have a story about that because
Yes.
we're going to talk about how we're setting it now. Somebody told you not to play a song.
Yeah, well, I was doing my master's. I just left master classes at Juilliard, New York City, to go to Indiana University, and Bloomington, one of the greatest music schools ever. Okay, and so
That's a big deal. Just the fact that you graduated from Indiana is something, folks out there. Good for you. God love you. Did you live in Indiana?
I lived in Bloomington. Yes.
Oh, anybody familiar with that? Yeah. There's your sister. There she is. One
Yeah,
person.
nice to see you out there.
There we go. All right.
So, we had CDs all over in little gift shops all over the country. And I sold millions of those in little shops. You probably bought them when you were buying something somewhere and you didn't know who I was, but it was playing. So this girl named Sheila Tate bought one, and I had my phone number. In those days, you just put your phone number right inside the CD. So she called the house I was staying at in Bloomington and left a message that she wanted me to play at the White House. I thought it was a prank call. So I called her back, and next thing I know, that was on Valentine's Day. Next thing I know, I'm flying to D.C. in a holiday, at Christmas, to do a holiday recording and also a performance. So I'm sitting there for dinner, and I'm starting to play. There's a lot more to this, but I don't want to take too much time. This little short guy with a terrible haircut and a huge big bow tie says, I have a request, don't play my music. So I'm no problem.
You didn't know who this was. No,
I didn't know who he was.
No.
I did notice he had a very attractive brunette, and I love brunettes. So, I married one. So
you should have said that voice in your Bill Clinton voice. That would have been better, actually.
I did not meet that brunette.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's funny. I don't care who you are. You can send all your letters to the. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, Sheila Tate was over sitting with the Reagans. This is the lady that asked me to come play. So she walked over and she said, "What did he say to you?" I said, "Well, he asked me not to play his music." She said, "Well, that's Andrew Lloyd Webber." And Mark, and I said, that must be Sarah Brightman with him.
Oh, good, right.
And she said, yes. I'm like, oh my God, Sarah Brightman. You know, she was Christine in The Phantom.
Right.
So I said, what do I do?
You know her too?
What do I do? I said, what do I do, Sarah? I mean, Sheila. So Sheila ran back over to Mrs. Reagan and said, what does he do? So she comes back across about the distance between that flower and she says, Mrs. Reagan says, play it anyway.